Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tom Cat here, and welcome to a brand new episode of Tuned vs. Tuned. Now, this was requested in my Discord, and this is going to be the McLaren P1 versus a McLaren Senna. We're going to run both of these cars stock, then we're going to bring them back to the house, fully build both of them, and then see which one edges out the other in terms of top speed, through the speed trap, mind you, not overall top speed, but trap speed once they're both fully built. So we're going to be starting out in the Senna. Now, the Senna is a gorgeous exercise in aerodynamic development. Now, I will say, let me back up a little bit. Gorgeous is a little bit subjective. There are some people that think this car is hideously ugly. However, this car was designed by the wind tunnel, basically. It was designed by the wind tunnel first and for aesthetics second. So this car was designed functionally over form, and I think that to me is one of the reasons why I think it looks so cool and why I think it's and what makes it so beautiful. But without it going on any further about that, y'all want to see the speeds. So we're going to go ahead and jump in the driver's seat of this car, head out to the highway, and see what it does. It revs so fast. I love the dash, too. Woo, boy. Oh, God. It's making me a little bit concerned for when this thing is fully built because it is stupid fast. Yeah, if you're in a corner, you can blow the tires off in third. Now, if you're going fast enough, the wing is going to give you enough downforce to prevent that from happening. But if you're going under like 70 miles an hour, you can do this all day long. Power oversteer slide around a roundabout. Oh, yeah. It's got you covered. Oh, my God. And it does like a very faint amount of angle. And I'm not really putting in much steering input either. I'm barely correcting the car at all. Barely. But now it's time to do our proper speed run. So I'm going to back up just a little bit so we can get on that yellow line. And 3, 2, 1, go! Had to kind of feather the throttle a little bit in first gear, but that's to be expected in a car like this that weighs very little and makes a ton of power. And through the trap at 196.6 miles an hour. So with that being said, it's fast. 196 miles an hour in stock form is very, very quick. And now we're going to switch over to the McLaren P1 and see if it can beat that 196 mile an hour trap speed. So the time has come to find out, can the old Big Mac stand up to the new Big Mac? It still revs very fast, although the Senna does seem a little bit freer revving. Oh, the P1 is a little bit livelier, a little bit more willing to blow the tires off. Now, the Senna does have more aero than the P1, although in my personal opinion, looks-wise, the P1 does look a little bit better. The P1 almost looks like the Senna sort of looks like its own thing, whereas the P1 looks like a evolution of the original 12C, if that makes any sense. But going into the roundabout now, I just want to see if it will keep a slide going. It's a little bit harder to keep a slide going in this than it is in the Senna. You're definitely doing more work in the P1. The P1 is a little bit more knife-edged, which is not what I expected. I expected the Senna to be more knife-edged, but the Senna was very easy to slide, whereas this requires a little bit more management. So, can it beat that 196 mile an hour stock trap speed? I don't think it can, but I think it'll be close. So let's find out in 3, 2, 1, go! Yeah, second gear is pretty much useless. Like, you shift it into second, and it's just, like, immediately up at the rev limiter. Come on! Well, I'm blown away. The P1 did, like, 214 miles an hour. I have a feeling that the aerodynamic drag on the Senna probably contributed to that a lot, because the Senna, again, only went 196 miles an hour, whereas the P1, the original Big Mac, went 214 from the factory. And I'm going to go ahead and take it back to the house to prove to you guys that this thing is stock, because it is. At least it should be, because I reset it to stock before I started filming this video. So I know I'm kind of breaking the flow of the video a little bit. I know that these videos have a certain editing style, and normally they stick to that editing style, and you don't normally see me going in and out of the house and stuff like that. But in this one, for this part, yeah, I want to keep it all on camera. So let's see. Custom upgrades, setup manager, reset default upgrades. It is stock. It's stock. That's it. That's just it. It's stock. So, with that point being proven, now it's time to go grab the Senna again and see what it can do once it's fully built. Now, we're going to throw a bunch of power at it, and in order to set it up for this particular endeavor, I am going to tune the aero all the way to speed. So, that may give us a little bit of an advantage. I hope it does, because the Senna got walked in terms of trap speed. So let's get everything built, and I mean everything. So let's get all this stuff done. 200. Oh god. So now we have a fully built Senna making 1180 horsepower and 807 foot-pounds of torque, which is awesome. But we're still going to need to mess with the aerodynamics, I think. The aerodynamics are a big factor here, and we're also going to reduce the weight down to 2581. Can you imagine 1,100 horsepower, almost 1,200 horsepower, and weighing 2,500 pounds? That is so ridiculous that I couldn't even begin to comprehend that. Like, at least comprehend what that would feel like. So we've got our race tires on it. We're going to throw the max width on the front and the rear. And I'm actually, I think, going to leave the stock wheels on this car, just because I would prefer it to kind of remain in that space. And you know what? I think in order to tune it, we probably have to put aftermarket aero on it, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to run it as is. And by running it as is, I think it'll be very interesting to see if all that power can effectively push through the air enough to make it outrun the P1. But the P1 also hasn't been built yet. So you got to think, it may outrun the P1 now, but will it outrun it once it's built? We'll have to see, because the P1 is definitely a very slippery shape. Blowing those 355s off the rear of the car. Still extremely pointy and extremely sticky. Now, again, that's what this car is for. That's what it's made for. That's what it was designed for. So you really don't have to worry about grip if you're going over 100 miles an hour. This thing's gonna have it. Ah! I dove into that a little too hard. A little too hard might have been an understatement. Still very easy to catch and slide, though. Very easy. All right, tune run for the Senna. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Needed more throttle in second. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on. Oh, are you kidding me? Cut me off at the last second and forced me over to where that traffic car was. So fully built, she went 227 miles an hour. So now it's time to go back to the shop and see what a fully built P1 will do. So P1 build time. The only thing you can upgrade on this thing is the turbos, which gets you 1,113 horsepower, which isn't quite as much as you can get out of the Senna. However, I do feel like this thing has mad potential still. Now, with race weight reduction, it comes down to 3,000 pounds. Wow, that's it. So, it's definitely going to be heavier. And I don't think it's going to be able to do 227 like the Senna was. But that's just my own personal opinion. I feel like the game may have nerfed this car a little bit. But you could put some ridiculously wide what are those? 375s in the back. Oh, you could kind of fix the offset up a little bit too. Make the fitment look a little bit better, which is always nice. See, it's like that's like one of those things that's nice to be able to mess with. And that's it. That's literally all you could do. So we're going to install that setup and go back to the highway and see what the P1 can do. And like I said, I think it'll be quick, but I don't know if it'll be able to do 227 like the Senna did. Although it could surprise all of us and go 240. Like, who knows? Because it's one of those wild card cars that could go ridiculously fast. Although I don't think it'll go that fast. We'll have to find out, wait and see. So it doesn't really calm down until about 4th gear. The wheel spin is pretty constant until about there. Whoa! God! It definitely has a harder time keeping itself stuck to the ground than the Senna does. I mean, I get why, but still, it's like, hello. It still takes more management to drive than the Senna, that's for sure. All right, boys, moment of truth. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh my God, 140, 150, 160, 170. Ah! Come on, 180, 190, 200. Oh yeah, gone. 236 miles an hour. The Senna is gone, and the P1 is officially faster, both stock and tuned. So, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Tuned versus Tuned, make sure to leave me a like. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys would like to see, and subscribe for more. Turn on that notification bell, and I will talk to you guys next time.